Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Coffee with My Mentee, a weekly dose of inspiration, transformation, heartfelt conversation. And I'm more than excited and thrilled to invite you all to grab a cup of coffee or tea. I'm having some wonderful green tea. And to join us as we dive into this incredible journey with my amazing mentees. In this series, we will talk about the highs, the lows, and everything in between with my amazing mentees. And here we have our very first guest, my dearest Sonal Sinha. Hi, Sonal.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
So, friends, Sonal is based in Mumbai and she is an EFT practitioner. She is an NLP practitioner. She is also a Reiki healer, a crystal healer, so much more. I personally know her as an amazing EFT practitioner, guys. You should take a session with her. She's awesome at what she does. And of course, she has done Access Bars workshop with me, which makes her a wonderful Access Bars practitioner too. She's taken access sessions from me, and we have had this great connection over the last few years, and it has been a great journey. So please welcome my dearest friend, my mentee, and my soul sister, as I always say, Sonal Sinha, right here. Welcome, Sonal.
Thank you, Ashwini, for that wonderful introduction.
Pleasure.
And yeah, so
Wonderful.
about me,
Yes.
I mean, you already mentioned everything.
Yeah.
If I have to introduce myself, I always introduce me through my children. I'm a mother to twin children,
Yes.
and I have one son who's on the autism spectrum. So it's because of them I chose healing. Like I was into Reiki, but
Yes.
then they came into picture, healing was like it became essential for me. Like I
Right.
realized I had to heal myself, and then so it just that was just a pathway that opened.
Yeah.
I took healing for me, and then I started to enjoy it. I started to understand. I began to understand, how
Right.
this works,
Yeah.
and then automatically, I think I just attracted all of this. So
Yes.
I'm now, I mean, invested quite some time, and now I think I'm in a position where I can help
Yeah.
others.
Yes.
And
Yes.
in the journey, then yeah, I mean, in the journey when I was healing myself, you were one of the key elements. So that's how we got connected.
We got connected. And I
Yeah,
always say the universe brings us to the people who are meant to be in our life. And likewise, I think we both attracted each other. And I love the way our relation has grown beyond a mentor mentee to, like I always say, like being a soul sister, having a soul family. And that's amazing. And one thing which I would like to highlight here, Sonal, is that's a very powerful choice you made, because I've met your kids, they're amazing. And yes, they have been such an important part of your journey, who have made you introduce you to this powerful healing techniques. And of course, it's your choice which has
Mhm.
created this wonderful universe of possibilities for you, as we always say in Access Consciousness. And Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, says that a choice is always a start of a reality, because when you choose something, you're already creating a new reality. So you did create a great reality with whatever you chose, and whatever you've been choosing. So keep choosing magic. And with that, of course, you have impacted lives of so many people, which I see. You have some wonderful videos. Many of you who are watching us here, you must have seen Sonal post some really amazing videos on the Unicorn University as well of EFT tapping, and they've been superb. So do go and check her profile out. We will be also sharing more details of what she does as a part of this conversation, coming to it later. But to begin, let us start with it. And here I am sipping my cup of warm tea. And I always say that when I'm having video calls, conversations, or sessions like this, I always keep sipping something warm. And that was the reason this whole concept of coffee with my mentee came up, to give you all a background and also to give Sonal a background, because Sonal is our first guest. But there are so many times we have these very casual conversations. Like, I think me and Sonal have these conversations so many times where we speak, and while we are speaking, so many new things come up, right? Sonal, we talk about the possibilities, the magic. Same happens with almost everyone who has been on this path with me. And every session, I think, every talk, every casual talk we might be having over the phone call, maybe we are sitting in our pajamas and having these conversations. And there is so much new which opens up. And
Yes.
I thought, why not put it out and share it with the world as a conversation which can inspire people to choose, to have more better possibilities, and to know that the kind of work which we are doing is impacting us at all levels, at mind, body, spirit level. When whether I'm doing a session with you, whether I'm doing a workshop, or whether it's just a conversation, there are so much possibilities which come up. And we go into this awe and wonder of this world. And that was the main reason that these coffee sessions or these coffee talks, finally we decided to put it out on our platform. So thank you to all of us who are watching us, whether on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching us. And for all of you who will be watching these as a recorded session too, do comment what you feel about it, and we'll be happy to hear from you. And if you have any questions too, would love to answer them. Post those questions in the comments below, and we'll make sure that whenever we can, me and Sonal will give our best and answer those questions. So on that note, let's start. Great. So, Sonal, my very first question, like, of course, we both know each other, but you have given a bit introduction about yourself. But what was the thing which brought you to seek mentorship and clearing sessions with me? And what were the challenges which you were facing at that time? If you could just speak in few words.
So I had moved to a new place. I mean, there were a lot of things I was dealing with. Physical drain,
Yeah,
emotionally, I was overwhelmed, new place. So I was sort of lonely. I mean, that also gave me the space to actually explore that, what my issues are. Because when you're dealing even in that state of mind and you're dealing with day to day stuff, you just pile on more things. Okay. So, yeah, the change of place was challenging, but it also gave me a space where I could actually pause and think, कि अच्छा अभी कुछ तो help चाहिए. You know,
right,
I
right.
need some help. And so I just came across your videos on Facebook.
Yeah,
Somebody added me to your group, and since I was already into all this, so somebody, I knew a lot of other people who I think a couple of them were connected with you, and someone added me to your group, and then I used to watch your videos. I used to somehow feel a connect, like I
correct.
could relate.
Yeah,
Yeah, you watch so many people, so of course you connect to when you see videos and inspirational quotes of big people, somebody who's there, like Sri Ravi Shankar or somebody. So that's a different kind of thing. That's like
yes, yes,
uh, you understand, they come from a different space. But
yes,
somebody who I don't know at all, and then you suddenly a judgment creeps in, right? You want to be sure that am I connecting with the right person?
yeah,
Is you know what they're speaking is making sense? But I think there was an energy connect. I think that was
yeah,
it,
yeah,
because
yeah,
the same thing so many people say, right? So many
right.
people say the same stuff, but you connect only with somebody with whom your energy resonates. So
Yes,
I saw your videos and I kind of felt connected, and I used to uh, watch your clearing reels. Like, the good part I think was because you'd made reels. Okay.
yeah.
So I used to somehow I used to relate with it a lot. So I would
Wow.
listen to you, and then, yeah, because during those times I was really alone, and I just wanted some sort of help. And I was in a situation where nobody else could help me. Like, I needed somebody who was a professional. I was dealing with a lot of stuff. People in the family did not know how to help me out. friends were pretty much in my same space. I had a special needs child, so the friends that I had were also, if I had friends even before, but if they did not have a special needs child, they would not understand what I was going
Mm.
through, right? And I had like two. I have a lot of friends who have kids, so they have maybe one, who's on the spectrum. So their focus towards the child is just one. I have two with different needs. One is a
Yes.
neurotypical who needs everything like a regular world does. One is a neurodiverse kid who needs absolutely something different. The
Yes.
approach is to be really different, and you need to address both of it. So nobody knew in my space how to address it. And
Yeah.
so being spiritual, I did have an awareness that, it's just a story, and I need to kind of raise myself before above that,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that I can just be a channel to both children,
Wow.
right, instead of trying to be something.
Wonderful.
So I resonated with you online, and then I was like, let's just go for it. Let me just, she says that she is professional and I can relate with her. Let me just give it a try. That's how I came to you, to be really frank. Okay.
Wow.
And yeah, so then that's why I came to you, and then that's how we got connected,
That's
and we
how
were
we
looking
got
into, yeah.
connected. And thank you for sharing that because, Sonal, although I had like, I'm not a mother, and but when I started my journey about 12 years ago, I had a very similar space when I met my mentors, teachers, that um, I couldn't get that kind of support what I needed from family and friends. Okay. And being spiritual, I knew there is a bigger possibility out. And so I think we all start from there, which I never marked actually, but today the way you shared it so beautifully, so vulnerably, thank you for that. I think that's very similar to what even I went through a few years ago. So I think we all start from there, and it's wonderful how you put these things together because at some point of time we believe that okay, I know there is a better solution, but I don't know how and when and where to go, and then you connect and like I said at the start of the session, you made that choice. So wonderful, brilliant, and thank you for sharing that which was so amazing, so empowering, I can say. So what were your initial expectations, or what was the first thing which you when you connected me, like you said, what were your initial expectations, and how did you feel during your first clearing session? How did that session make you feel?
So my expectation was just to make myself feel better.
Yeah.
Professional sessions with you. I remember you used to do a lot of free calls. It was during to COVID, just post COVID, I believe. So you used to make a lot of those videos, and you would make those free. You would arrange those free calls, and I used to attend those. So I had already started using those tools. So the beauty of the tools is like it gives you an instant switch.
Yeah.
Like you something is going on, and then you're not able to look beyond, and that one statement is actually just turns the table around. You're like, oh, you know
Wow.
I mean, I need not do anything, but I can look at it like that, and that itself brings a lot of shift.
Right.
And so I started feeling the change then. Okay, and then that also contributed for me to come up and take a. So there came a point when I was like, I was completely frustrated, and of course I do EFT, and
Yeah.
EFT helps a lot. But when you're dealing with your stuff, you do need external intervention,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And that time I don't know. I think it was just this time to happen because I had an option of, going and connecting with a senior practitioner, take professional sessions from them. But I was following you then. So I thought ki this might help.
Our
Right. So I
paths had
just
to meet.
came. Yeah. And I just took those sessions with you. And my only motive was that, I just want to get over with this feeling. It's just too much. Like even when I'm thinking right now about it, it's like, oof, what was I going through?
Yes.
So yeah, that was the only motive. I mean, I was not even expecting like a huge change or transformation. Nothing. I was like, मेरे को ये, I just want this feeling to go away. Yeah. That
This
was the whole thing.
the
Yeah.
whole overwhelming feeling, and too many things happening, and like you said, the tools, they are like a switch. So especially a lot of times, like Gary Douglas says, 99.99% of thought, feelings, emotions do not even belong to us. And I was like, oh wow. And when that's the reason the tools work so fast, because the overwhelm probably is a lot, because in COVID times also the collective, each and every person was moving through a lot of things. And when you started with that change, it not just changes you, but it also changes the planet.
Yeah.
So that's why everyone who chooses, whether it's just a clearing session with Access, or whether it is a bar session or a bars class, I think they are not only contributing to themselves, their own families, like in your case, to you, your kids, to your family, but also to the planet. And how does that get even better than this, Sonal? So what a powerful choice you made at that time, which is like, I can feel that. I can, like you said, I could feel when I was talking to you, the energy of overwhelm at going back in that time. And as we are talking now, I feel that says space of expansion, that space of consciousness,
Yeah.
that space of possibilities. So thank you for sharing that. Now, um like I said, what was the immediate change? Like, was there any immediate change which you felt, or if you could put it in a few words? I know you already spoken about it, but could you just put it in a few words?
So
Your
the
immediate.
immediate change, yeah, that I felt after the session was, yeah, I felt really light. I
Right.
actually felt really light. Uh, whole thing about going through that was also that there were a lot of judgments in the head. Like
Yeah.
even if you work so much in yourself, there are certain things which are stuck.
Yeah.
So there were judgments, and sometimes even if you're aware, you just need to speak to somebody
Yeah.
just to get that validation, right? That okay, fine, I'm not doing something that wrong, or I'm not going through something that big,
Yeah.
or it's just like letting out what you're
Yeah. Yeah.
struggling with. So I think the session helped me with that. With whatever that I was struggling, it was very embarrassing for me also. Somewhere I had so much of embarrassment around that feeling that I was
Feeling.
struggling with.
Right.
Ki, how can I go through like this, or how can I feel like that, or how am I stuck with this? These were the judgments I had about myself.
Right.
And so the beauty of taking, I mean, of course, with me, you helped me at that point of time. But you go to any therapist or any healer and all. If it's a good healer, that healer will tell you that it's okay.
Yes.
Nothing is so bad, nothing is so wrong,
Yeah.
uh, and accepting that is the first step. That हाँ ठीक है, I am going through it. It's okay, right? So the moment you stop fighting that thing.
Yes.
Yes, and you are in acceptance of it, like we say in access, allowance, common allowance of it.
Absolutely.
These things have actually helped me so much, Ashwini. Your tools. I mean, to be really frank, I learned bars with you right now, but I had used those tools so much that time, so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, coming to allowance of it. This thing that you just shared about Gary Douglas, 99% of the thoughts are not yours. And another thing, it's going off topic, but I want to share this is that
Please, please do.
when I used to easily get convinced with Gita and Vedanta,
Yeah.
and we all follow Rajeshri Nandi, so we used
Yes.
to
Yes. Yes.
used to watch those videos and stuff. But when I started to began to understand Access, I feel it is so much in alignment with all of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, the reason I got convinced with Access is because it just breaks down all these concepts into smaller parts, and it's the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
it made it so easy for me to how do I say
Connect
क्या
the
बोलते हैं उसको
parts. Connect the
no,
parts.
apply those concepts.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you break it down
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
tools, you can apply those concepts, like literally it becomes easy. You don't have to struggle
Absolutely.
so much. अरे यार, that sometimes when you read Gita and all, इतनी बड़ी बड़ी बातें होती हैं कि you like कि यार ये तो बड़े लोग ही कर सकते हैं, ये
Yes.
पहुंचे हुए आदमी कर सकते हैं. These
Yes.
are the conversation that goes on. But tools, it makes it easy for you. It
It
makes it
makes it
very
easy.
simple for you. So I use tools so many times that times. मतलब मेरे को I've used it so much that it I don't even remember कि there was a
Yeah.
specific point. I don't remember like that. It just became a part of me that time. I used to
Yes.
use it a lot during that time.
Yes. And thank you for sharing that, because it also reminds me that a lot of teachings from my Guru Shri Nisargadatta Maharaj, which I have been, because he has been a guru to my family, to my parents, to my grandparents. And
Mm.
he talks a lot about consciousness and awareness. If you have read about That is one book which is considered all across the world as one of the best spiritual books. In that, I started reading that at a very early age, and a lot of things I did not really understand. And of course, it was my
Mm.
dad's book. It was always in his library, but I could never understand it. But after Access Consciousness, the way consciousness and awareness have been broken wonderfully in Access Consciousness, the tools. Um, I'm still not there because I still read the book. There are some things which I get. There are some things which I do not get yet. But yes, the tools are so easy and so easy to apply, like you said, in your day-to-day life, that it just, like, at the basis, of course, Advait Vedant, which is the base of all of this, and
Mm.
it just puts all the pictures together, and you get a big picture, and you see, wow. So that's the
Yeah.
beauty of the tools. I think
Yes.
that's, yeah.
Mm.
Wonderful. And that brings me to, of course, because we just spoke about the Access Bars workshop, which we had, and it was so much fun. We had absolute fun in that workshop. We danced and we laughed and we smiled and we cried and we laughed together. And it was one brilliant group which we all had. So could you share a few things about how was your experience with the Access Bars workshop, which we had recently?
So access bars as a concept, I think I already had
Yes.
done a lot of it because I attended your bars, online free calls, etc. So the bars was the only thing that was remaining. You
Yes.
run the bars. So if
Yes.
you ask me, so for me it was just the bars which was new. Concepts were sort of revision,
Yeah. Yeah.
and for others it was so yeah. So the whole thing about me going somewhere and doing a class is a bit challenging in this phase of life because I can't leave my son and go for a very long time anyway, unless he's engaged. So I was thinking of doing this class with Ashwini since more than 1.5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
कि
Almost
कब
2 years.
करें, and every time it would fail. And I don't know why it did not strike me before that she can actually come to my place. And I think it's the divine timing. And then when one fine day I'm thinking, अरे कब करूंगी, अच्छा ठीक है दादर जाना है, how will I do it,
Yeah.
what will I do to manage my kids. I'm like, why can't she come to my place? And I'm like, problem solved. The
Yeah.
next thing is like I immediately call her and like, "Are you coming to my place?" She's like, "Yes, I'm coming." And we had like around 5-6 people who were trying to do
The
access
class.
from Ashwini since a very long time, and they all stayed next to my place. So they all
Yes.
landed, and we had a fun class. And
We had a
the
fun
best
class.
part was that my children were there. They had got their kids, and my mom in the next house, like she stays next to me, she was getting stressed. Ki, "Arey, kids are going there, your class will be disturbed." I'm like, this is not the class that you're thinking it is, okay? This is
Yeah.
not that. The kids can run around, they can do whatever they want to, and we can still
Yes.
focus on what needs to be done and what needs to be understood. We are not
Absolutely.
meditating, and even when we are running bars, we had Ashwini's daughter who was doing all kinds of yoga
Oh, yes.
and,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and
Yes. Yes.
gymnastics, and I was running a bars. So it's a very different class. It's
Yes.
not I mean, you are focused at the same time you're having fun.
Yes.
That's
Yes. Yes.
that's the beauty
Absolutely.
of it.
Yes. And there were six grown-ups and six kids in the class. And it was absolute. And I always said that, okay, there are six grown-ups and six kids, and there is me who is actually a kid, but everyone thinks I'm an adult in the class. So it was a big batch. We had absolute fun. Like you said, one of our participants who's also Ashwini, whose daughter, actually, it was, she got a bars run, which we thought was not possible. All the kids got their bars run too. And Sonal, that's the beauty of Access Bars. That's why Gary makes these classes free for kids below 16 when they join with a paying adult. and I think all the kids got their class, their bars
Yeah.
run, right? All the
Yeah.
kids got their bars run. Of course, the grown-ups got their bars run too, and it was an absolute blast. They enjoyed receiving, and some of them gave bars too, and they were. I think your little one was also looking at me at my bracelets, and he was enjoying the whole fun of the class, and
Yes.
it was such a wonderful experience. When we spoke about the tools, especially a lot of changes we saw in both the parents, and some children were also sitting throughout the class. Some kids were just playing around. But yeah, that was one of a fun class which we all had, and we cannot miss that we danced at the end of the class. We all danced and made a reel. So I'm sure
Yes.
your mom must be thinking, "अरे वाह, ये तो कुछ और ही class हो रहा है." And yeah, I think that was what.
No, she was stressed. She was a bit
Yeah.
stressed that, probably I should keep the kids with me. I'm like, no, no, they're supposed to be a part of this.
Yes.
And whatever's happening is like, it's divine intervention. You don't need to worry.
Absolutely.
So, so yeah, that it was like, I don't even recall it as like a class that I
Yeah.
had. It was like a 2 day party for us where we were
Yeah.
having chips and coke and lunch and
Yes.
dancing and chit chatting, so much of talking, exchanging stories, and
Yes.
yeah, and clearings. The good part was like every time we are speaking, and of course you're the facilitator, so you could pinpoint where the emotion is getting stuck,
Yeah.
and then do the clearings then and there. I think a lot. That was one superb class, I would say. I mean,
Oh, and I had
really good.
absolute fun. I think every
Yeah.
Access Bars class, and over the last few years, I've started it doing at, breaking it up into two half-day classes rather than one, because there is so much energy which happens. So I think yes, we had an absolute blast, and I couldn't forget the amazing biryani which we had for lunch, and the chips, and of course it was
Yeah.
so much fun. Absolutely. So now, Sonal, coming back to how over the period of time from when you first started to now after the class, and if you look at all this as a longer term thing, like we've been doing each other for about three and a half years now. So how
Mm.
do you think the clearing sessions have overall transformed your life as a person, over the period of time? Like what changes do you see in yourself? Especially, I would like to pinpoint about the relationship you have with yourself, and that as an extension of your relationship with others. How do you think that is something? Would you like to put it out?
So first is like I think the tools they just help you become neutral,
Yeah.
right? No more you. The first thing itself that if you're judging somebody, that means you're judging yourself.
Yeah.
That itself is such a powerful statement, and like if you understand it, 50% of the job is done. I feel because then
Yes.
it's identifying where are you judging yourself and where are you judging others, right? Once and as and when it comes into your awareness, I mean, you start becoming so much more neutral.
Absolutely.
So I think bars when I used it a lot, like the tools when I used it a lot at the beginning, uh, that kind of formed a base. I would say the base of like I remember somebody was asking in the class that why don't you call access as a healing modality?
Yeah.
So I think access is more of a philosophy. So it made a base of the way I should be thinking or looking at things, and then
Yeah.
on the basis of that formation, when I mean a lot of things started falling in place. So like I said,
Right.
that I understood the basis, and now every time I come across a new tool, or every time I come across a new situation, those things make it very easy for me to sail through that particular
Yeah.
situation, right?
Yes.
And of course then there are times when you actually need external help, even if you're a healer, or even if you're a practitioner, you need
Yes.
that external help. And then that what do you say that also makes it very quick. Like I remember I spoke to you last month, I was distressed, and I think we spoke for about half an hour and I was okay the next day. This wouldn't happen earlier, right? It would take days for me to come back to normal. And now when I step into that space, I'm like, how do I switch? Oh God.
Yes. Yes.
you
Yes.
know, because I
Yeah.
know that the biggest transformation is I know that I can bounce back.
Yes. And that's the
I can
beauty.
bounce. Yeah.
And I think,
I I'm not going to be my reality is not what I'm feeling right now. That's the
wow,
whole, yeah.
beautiful,
So
beautiful.
that's the whole thing,
That's
right?
that's that's so beautiful, because when we start with the access bars class, the first thing we say is the purpose of access is, um, we create a reality of our own. We make the choices and we create a new reality which has never existed before.
Yeah.
And knowing that we are not victims of our circumstances, knowing that no matter how difficult things seem right now, how difficult things may seem at this moment, and of course, like you said, when I go through my ups and downs, but with the tools of access, what has happened is I'm able to bounce back. And that is that's the beauty of it. And uh, one of the reasons why we are doing these conversations and sharing it with the world, like I say, we always keep having our own conversations, right? Sonal, whether it is you and me, whether it is anyone from our people, our set of soul family. But when the reason why we are sharing it with the world, on who are watching it on YouTube, who are watching it on Instagram, or who just seem to bump into it, if you're watching this, no, it's not a coincidence, is to know that no matter what situation you are in today, we have an opportunity to switch from that and bounce back. No situation, no problem is big enough for you to stay stuck there. And if you are someone who is looking for that, choose the tools, choose the wonderful
Hmm.
modality, and choose the magic it can create for you and your world and your universe.
Yeah.
So to put it out now, next I would say that what have been the new habits or new practices, what you have adopted after inculcating these tools in your life. So whether it is in your professional scenario, because you are already someone who is a coach, a healer, a therapist. So what are some of the new habits which access tools and access the modality and the way of thinking, like you said, it's a new philosophy, it's not a healing modality, it's a way of life, it's how you think, it's how you create, it's how you make those changes. So what could be new habits or practices which you have adopted as a result of this new way of life?
So I use the tools. I use it every time something is not in alignment with what I want. So it means that if something is not in alignment, matlab, I'm getting disaligned. So I use the tools, it brings me back in alignment. Also, when I'm doing my EFT, so now suppose, so especially when we're doing trainings and all, and we have certain time limits.
Yes.
And when if it's an emotional work, a lot is coming out. So I use the tools. What would it take, just to
Yeah,
finish in 5 minutes?
absolutely.
And suppose you're getting late, what will it take for me to, reach there in another 5 minutes? So things like that, it has become like organically a part, right? I
Yes.
mean, I don't have to, yeah, the beauty for access is also that I don't have to push myself to,
Yes.
yeah, beat myself up, ki, "Arey, you have to make this happen." It just flows.
Yes, and the tools work with
Yeah,
everything, with time too. If you remember, Sonal, when I was coming for the class, it was the month of July, and it was a very heavy rainfall day that day. It was predicted by all
I remember.
climate
Yeah,
agencies that it's going to rain, and it was, of course, the predictions were coming true too. The Indian Department of Climate, they had whatever they had predicted it, and it was raining, and I decided to leave from my, because Kandivali is usually 40 minutes from Matunga, and I always, and the moment I sat in my cab, it was showing 42 minutes, and I told Sonal that, Sonal, I will be reaching in the next 42 minutes, and Sonal was like, yeah, absolutely, it's great. And I always make sure I reach the class before all the participants, so that I can settle in, I can get into what we call as the state, into the zone, and be there. And I think in 25 to 24 minutes, I reached there. And Sonal said, oh, I said, Sonal, I'm reaching early. She said, okay, no problem. Just come on in, come on. And she was like, oh, wow, you reached so early. And I said, yeah, because I just asked a question, what will it take for me to reach before time? And I saw my clock in my mobile, and it was 23 or 24 minutes. And I was like, wow. And that's how the tools work. But the idea is to not be logical at this point of time, and not try to dig in and see, oh, let me see how you reached 23 minutes. ऐसे हुआ, ये logic हुआ. because logic kills magic. So don't be logical when you use the tools. But the best part is tools work,
Yeah, they
and
work.
they work. So yes, like you said, you use the tools before your presentations, and I think even a lot of my clients who work in the corporate world who are not healers, they have who have taken sessions. They too say that just before a meeting, just before talking to the superiors, before having some stressful event, they use the tools and they always work. Isn't that
Yes.
really amazing that how the tools work, and how does that get
Absolutely.
even
Yeah.
better than this? Okay, so as we are coming towards the end of this conversation, I mean, of course, I would love to talk to you the entire day, but in this short conversation which we are having, um, could you share a bit about how do you stay motivated and committed on your personal growth in tough times now after using the tools, after after that, like I've seen you grow, Sonal, I've seen you and I've taken EFT sessions with you too, and I know how brilliant you are at that. How do you see over a period of time that, because a lot of people say, okay, I did the class, I took a session and that was great, but over a period of time, a lot of, when they don't practice especially, a lot of things fade. So over a period of time, how do you stay motivated and committed with your daily practice on this path, and how do you think the tools have helped you to be there?
So how do I stay motivated? Okay. तो थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट एंगल यहाँ पे है. So I am also a, I wouldn't call myself a parent coach, a mom
Yeah,
coach, basically not even a mom coach, a guide.
yeah,
So basically in my journey of motherhood,
yeah.
I wherever I have changed myself is because I used to look up to my mother. I
Mm,
had a very khatta meeta relationship with my mother. I still have it. So there used to be a lot of conflicts. A
yeah,
lot of conflicts because we had different ideas. Okay, my mother
right.
had a different idea because she came from her generation. I had a different idea, and but since she was my mother, I would always try to mold my ideas as per her.
Yeah,
Okay, and when you work on yourself, this comes out as it hits somebody, it hits people. When I say this, but the best way you can work on any relationship is to yeah, I remember I had also done the relationship call with you. So these
yeah,
things like reinforce so many things. So so detach yourself from your mother also, detach yourself from your kids as well. The only way you can help, if I wanted my mother to look up to me is the only way I started looking up to myself. Then she started seeing that okay, she's after a point she started looking at also because my journey was different and
yeah,
she was not able to help. But then when she saw that I was able to help myself,
yeah.
so she started looking up to me. Okay. And so, yeah. So, what I realized, a lot of challenges that I faced was because I had absorbed her so much. Now, I'm not, being critical about my mother, but there were so many things that must have helped her, the way she is in her times, but that was not helping me. So, to
Yeah.
let go of that, and, try and understand what is best for me, even if she's my mother. So, I am not disrespecting her, but I'm respecting myself and I'm how do I put it? I'm allowing that space where it's okay
Yes.
to you for you to be you. It's
Be
okay
you
for
and me
me
to
to
be
be
me.
me,
Yes. Yes.
even if you're my mother, right? So
Yes.
so what happened is when my children came, and it happens at a very unconscious level. You don't consciously absorb. And I'm telling you, I had so many conflicts with my mother that I used to feel ki I'm not like her. But
Yeah.
when I became a mother, there were so many things that I used to do exactly the way because for me she was the right person.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Internally, I used to look up to her for everything. Her
Right.
validation, her her ways of doing things, because the way she used to do things were like good. It was the right thing, but I couldn't do it like that because, or maybe my ways were different. So I realized that trying to be like her, I have absorbed so much of her limitations as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how can, and I don't want to be like this, so I don't know how many more lives I have to live or whatever it is. I don't want to experience this limitation again, right? And I don't
Yes.
want my children to learn that and then pass it
Yeah.
on, right?
Yeah.
So my children and all these limitations started coming out when you have to become a, a goal or a role model for somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Wow.
clearly what I was doing was not helping my children. It wasn't helping them. So I realized that. I began to work on myself. So every time I felt that I am limiting myself, I was like, These kids will also copy it." So what happens is, like, as a parent, when your child comes and pinpoints your weakness, you haven't done this. How do you expect us to do that? Or they show it, through behaviors, or they say it out. It triggers you.
Yeah.
You'll be like, what a disrespectful child, and how dare he speaks to me like that, and stuff like that. But what we've learned in EFT is, like, everything that triggers you is your issue. It's not the other
Yes.
person's issue. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So that was like a baseline for me. So every time my child would trigger me, I would
Yeah.
work on myself. That what in me is, getting triggered. Why
Yes.
is, when the child saying something like that is bothering me? What is
Yes.
it about me that I'm not accepting? So all these tools, all these methods, they have just contributed me to, become a better version of me, right?
Absolutely.
Because if I fulfill my needs, and if I, another realization that I've had in a few days back is, like, I feel my purpose of life is to serve myself, because when I serve myself, right, when I am overcoming my challenges, I'm taking full responsibility of myself, I will be able to, model it for somebody who wants to be like that,
Yes.
especially for my children, for nobody else. If I'm feeling sad, I hold myself responsible. I'm not
Yeah.
going and blaming somebody else
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the normal tendency.
Correct.
मुझे खराब लगा, उसने ऐसा किया इसलिए लगा, उसने ऐसा किया इसलिए लगा,
Yeah.
मतलब ठीक है यार, just own it up. And ठीक है, own it up, when I'm saying it so casually, it's not so casual, yeah.
It is not.
It takes,
Yes.
yes.
Taken a
So,
lot
but
of
then,
work. It's
yeah, so
taken a
then
lot of.
that, I kind of worked on that, and I feel very good about it, that I'm
Yes.
able to come to that space where I think I can take responsibility of my shit. That allows me to even, own up my achievements. Like, I feel good about, कि अच्छा, because पहले वो वाला चीज नहीं था. मतलब मैं कुछ अच्छा कर भी लूँ तो उसका अप्रिसिएशन मैं खुद को भी नहीं दे पाती थी.
Right.
तो वो चीज भी आई है कि मतलब कोई अगर मैं अच्छी चीज भी करूँ, if I'm doing something good, I'm able to own up that as well, कि okay, I did something good, I'm feeling so good about it, celebrate that too. Yeah. So that's been the essence of this journey, and it's still going on, and it's becoming exciting now. It's no
It
more like,
does.
yeah, it's not like कि अरे यार क्या कर रहे हैं. ठीक है यार, let's see क्या होगा.
Yeah, I think, and when you have reached that state, I would really say that you are eating, sleeping, drinking the tools, whether it's
Yeah.
access tools, whether it's, but I always say, and I say that to myself, I eat, sleep, drink access tools, because over a period of time it becomes a way of life, and you do not take, like you said, you do not take things personally, because you are in absolute allowance of what's coming to you, because you know that everything that is coming to you is just taking you step higher, step better. And that's a beautiful way to live life, and an inspiration to so many. I'm sure a lot of people who are listening to you, who are parents, who are mothers, will definitely get inspired by these beautiful words which you have shared. So thank you. Like, it's amazing. Lots of gratitude for sharing this beautiful journey of yours. Now I will, to conclude, I will just simply ask you a question. What are your future goals? Not just with access consciousness, but how do you plan to continue applying these tools to what you have learned? And how do you see yourself in this journey? Um, what areas do you think you would like to advise? Like, what would be your goals and your advice to, of course, to people who would like to choose access bars classes in the future?
So my goals, I don't have goals. Okay, that's I don't know whether it's a flaw or a
No, it's
benefit.
awesome. I think when
Yeah,
you have no goals,
I
you can, sky is the limit. You can do anything and everything.
yeah. So, but yeah, my if personally you're talking about me, I think. I love spirituality. I want to explore everything that will push me to the next level in my spiritual journey. And I think I've chosen my kids also because of that. Because uh, what what they bring to me, as in they don't even know that they're doing it. It just motivates me to just take the next step and explore more. So my journey is going to be like that. I think I'll just choose anything and everything that attracts me and makes me feel that yes, this is going to take me ahead. And in that, if I'm able to help as many as I can because of whatever I'm doing with me, I'll be more than glad. Because as a child, I always wanted to be purposeful and useful for myself and for others too. So that desire kind of still stays. Yeah, and also I always wanted to have fun. So yeah, Access has helped me to have fun. Okay,
Yes.
you can have fun while working hard. You can have fun while doing the work. These kinds of concepts are not common. People don't understand that it is possible.
Yeah.
Access has really helped me. To I mean, I knew it was possible, but it has helped me to apply it. Like, yeah, I can have fun while doing whatever I want to. And the general belief is if you're having fun, you're not doing something serious, but you can do something
Yeah.
serious while having fun. And the kind of
Yes.
fun that we had
Yes.
in Access
Oh
class,
my God.
nobody will say it was
So
a class, right? So yeah, that's the goal if you really want to know. And
yeah.
advice would be is like uh, just look inside. Nothing is outside, as within. जैसा अंदर है वैसा ही बाहर है. तो आपको कभी भी कोई भी चैलेंज फील हो रहा है लाइफ में, whatever your challenges are, please look inside. What is it that is actually bothering?
Brilliant.
It's not going to, matlab, external things are temporary. Unless you go inside, unless you see what's actually bothering you, you are never going to overcome that challenge.
Yes. Yes.
So that's how can you do it? We are here. We are all healers. We are here to serve you. We can help you in that because we have worked on ourselves like that. That's
Yeah.
why a good healer is somebody who's worked on them. We cannot just become healer just because we want to be a healer.
We want to be a
All of
healer.
us,
It's a journey.
if Ashwini, we have other friends also who are into all this, but you have to work on yourself to come to a level where you can actually help somebody else. So if you need help with that, we are here.
Yes.
And that's it, I think.
Wow. And what you said about joy, I totally resonate with it, Sonal, because as a child, I was always someone who would have a lot of joy in everything. And when I came into this world of healing, my teacher, when I connected to my Reiki master, she always had a very joyful approach towards everything. And she told me, have fun when you study, have fun even on a day-to-day basis, enjoy little things in life. But a lot of times, a lot of people who come from different backgrounds, uh, they always used to tell me that Ashwini, you take things very lightly in life. You take things very lightly in life, and you should be very serious about life. A lot of friends have told me all my since my college days, even when I was working. A lot of healer friends also had told me that Ashwini, start getting serious about life. When will you be serious about life? And then when I access consciousness came into my life, the first thing I learned was, what if life can be all about having fun? What if the purpose of life is to have fun? And whether my access coaches, mentors,
Absolutely.
teachers, they shared this. And there is a very beautiful book, Power versus Force, in which you talk about all the emotions. There is a scale of emotions which is written there, and joy has the highest emotion. So when you do things with when you are having fun, even when you are having a spiritual class, I think the energy of that room lifts so high that when we laugh, a lot of energy changes. So I think have fun with life, and being spiritual also means inviting this light-hearted energy into our life. Like my one of my teachers and mentors, Diana Cooper, always says that when you have that light-hearted energy, which we say is the energy of the unicorn energy, which is the light-hearted energy, and we are also Unicorn Insight and Unicorn University. It just lights up the energy of the room where you are. So
Yeah.
that thing will definitely help a lot of people. I tell people daily, watch something which is fun, do something which you like, dance. Like me and Sonal, we also connect a lot on the dance level because we both like to dance. So I think all of these bring in a lot of joy in our lives. So, Sonal, a bit about what you do. I just want people to also know what you do if they would like to book sessions with you, or they would like to connect to you as a healer. Just if you could talk about what all you do, maybe in a few words. So,
So I am a certified EFT practitioner, certified in a child matrix practitioner, breakthrough NLP coach practitioner. What else? EFT facilitator,
yes.
and yeah, I also do energy flow. I am a Reiki channel,
Yeah.
second level, so I can give healing. I don't teach Reiki, but yeah, I use a lot of Reiki also. Reiki was the first thing I got introduced to, so I have manipulated Reiki in a lot of ways, and
Wow.
I am very confident with Reiki.
Yeah.
So I do Reiki healings, and so I'm also into crystal healing. I We do consultation calls where we understand what your challenges are, and it's like, even if I say, suppose somebody, like we see, everybody has a different approach. We have a different approach. Like if somebody wants a particular thing, say I want money, or I want, love, whatever it is, we actually first go to the root cause, that what are they struggling with, and we give them crystals for those, and then we take it ahead to the next level, that
Wonderful.
you first try with this, and then let's, so they can connect with us for that as well. And for Reiki, for EFT, I am here. I do peaceful parenting workshops, which is a free workshop where I educate parents how stress interferes, especially mothers, how stress interferes in parenting methods,
Yeah.
and how working on yourself, actually can help you deal better with your child, and make parenting journey easy. So I it's a free class where I also demonstrate on how EFT works, how emotional freedom technique works,
Freedom techniques.
and that, plus y'all can always get in touch with me for emotional freedom technique. It's a transformational 6 session journey, I would say, where we work on the subconscious, we release a lot. Yeah, we try to have a different outlook towards things. So it's a lot of clearing at a subconscious level when you choose EFT.
And it's
So
beautiful. And
that's
I've
about
done
it.
sessions with you, and they are amazing.
And we
And
do,
as well.
I also facilitate groups. So I
Yes.
have had a chance to do with teachers, with certain corporate staffs and all.
Yeah.
Mainly, I work with women. I don't have an issue working with men as well, but I feel women get attracted to these kind of things more easily.
More easily. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Thank you. And that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing about you. Now I finally come to would you recommend this mentorship and access bars classes and access bar sessions with me to people?
Yes, definitely. I mean, access bars is good for anybody and everybody. It makes it so easy to, just be in light energies. So if you have an opportunity to do it, please do it. And Ashwini has so a lot of content on the internet where you can just go through it and you'll understand, get a feel of it. Like what is it? Of course, we're discussing about it, but when you watch more about it, you'll get
Videos.
an idea of how it is. So you must choose, because it's a lot of fun, and it opens gateways to a lot of
It
stuff.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
It opens gateways, channels to so much more and so much more empowerment. So, well, I should say thank you, thank you, thank you, Sonal, for this amazing call, being so vulnerable, which is vulnerability is a gift. I always say in Access Consciousness, we say that vulnerability is one of the five elements of intimacy. There is a very powerful conversation which we have on that, and there is of course there are relationship classes too in which we talk about all of this. But vulnerability is power because when you share these vulnerable things, it's not easy. It's not easy when you share it on a public forum, but the moment you share it, it sets so many people free
Yeah,
because
yeah,
people
of
know that they
course.
are not, everyone is going through their own battles, their own ups and downs. And no matter who they are, where
Sometimes,
they are.
yeah, sometimes you also understand that, Achha, I'm not the only one who's going through it.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
and I'm not. okay, we can talk about this as well. Like,
Yes.
this kind of awareness is also, I wouldn't say missing, but yeah, people
Yeah,
know
yeah.
less. Yeah.
Like 15 years ago, when I was in such a space where I was having a lot of emotions. I was only, most of my friends labeled me as emotional. Ashwini, come on, you're emotional, mat ban. Because no one had the capacity to understand that. Like, I don't blame them. Of course, they were
Yeah.
friends. They were trying to be there for me. They were like, oh, come on, Ashwini, don't be emotional. But there is way more than just being emotional person, because I think we all are emotionals. Some of us are actively aware of what we have emotions, and we can grow through them, and many of us are not aware. But so when you are coming back to when you are being vulnerable, you are also standing as a torch bearer, a beacon of light for so many people who are indwelling in the darkness, and who say that, oh wow, if she could, if Sonal could, if Ashwini could, I can. And that is the aim of us as light workers, to do that. But that was a wonderful conversation which we had. Thank you so much. You are our first guest on it, so it's going to be special. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being a part of this. And we are going to, when as we share this video, we will be sharing details of Sonal's Facebook page and her Instagram as well below. So if you would like to know more about that, click on the links below which we have with this video to know more about Sonal. And thank you. Have a wonderful day, Sonal. Thank you for being a
Thank you,
part of
Ashwini.
being the coffee with my mentee. And let us click a nice picture of both of us. So with maybe the coffee mug. Okay, so here we are. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much for being that, and sending you love. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwini.